So today I chose some walnut.
Oh, okay.
And I'll show you how to lay that out to get it on the lathe. I'll show you how to set up the lathe because I use easy wood tools. It's more of a scraping than a shearing cut.
Okay.
And I love teaching people that because I'm going to show you two things. Go like this. Okay. And go like this. You just created a handle, and I'll show you what I'm talking about in a few minutes.
All right, Sedge, so this is the lathe?
Yeah, okay, it's very old. It was my dad got it for me when I was just getting the shop going down in Fort Lauderdale. There's bits and pieces that are broken on it. But like I said, I don't turn all the time.
Okay.
I turn for utility, tool handles mostly. Or something needed around the house, like a new rung or something like that. Okay, so quick terminology. This is the headstock. Okay, that's where the motor is. It's a variable speed, pulley driven. This is your tailstock. This is your spur center. That's your live center. Later on, we're gonna be putting a drill chuck in there, and I'm gonna show you how to all do this. So your tool rest, you can get different tool rests. You can get different chucks for here. Okay, and this is your banjo, and you can move it around, which we will today to work our pieces. Okay, so those tool handles for the bow saw, we're gonna make them out of some walnut I had kicking around. I think it'll be a nice look. Okay?
Okay.
So we need to take this out.
Is that what this is for?
Yeah. Okay, so this is how you do it. It's a knockout tool. It's a through hole. So I'm just gonna go and take it out. Okay, so I cut this walnut, okay, and the overall length is roughly 5 inches. That's what felt good in your hand. And this one is 3.
Okay.
I cut them 4 and 6. And I'll show you why.
Okay.
Okay, the important part is finding center. So I'm gonna put this on here like this. We'll do the short piece first.
Okay.
Okay, the short handle. Now, this is really critical. We need to find the center. Okay, it'll turn around really quick when we rough it out. But I got one of these not too long ago. Mark Adams gave this to me. And you see the point right here? I put it just like this, watch. Ooh, let me get a finer pencil. And I bring it across, and I bring it across. That's my exact center.
That's cool.
Okay, so the next thing I'm gonna use, okay, just to get things started, we know what this is, right? An awl. Okay, I'm gonna do this one, and then I'll have you do the other one. Okay, but I'm gonna take it like this, and put that right in the center. Now, this is important because that's gonna go on that live center.
Okay.
I'm gonna flip it around. I'll have you do the larger handle afterwards, so you can step through it with me. I'm gonna find center again here. Okay, and find center again here. Okay. And then I'm gonna take my awl, and this is kind of like a center punch just to get it started.
Right.
So there you go.
What's next?
What do you get in your hand?
This is the spur bit.
Okay, so let's look at this, and I'll take this a step further with you. If you notice that these have been sharpened. Okay. This is what locks this blank in there. Okay. So there's your center. So what I'll do is I'll just take it. You don't have to do it, but I line it up on those lines just like this, and I take a lump hammer like this, and we're ready to turn. So we put the spur center back in there, and you're gonna notice when I knocked it in with that lump hammer, it just gave me a reference point. We still need to push this in. Oh. So you see that point right there?
Yep.
Okay, we're gonna bring this in. This is the tailstock. I have it like this. And I'm gonna bring it right into that point. Okay, now, there's a handle back here. We're gonna take and lock our tailstock down. Nice and sturdy. Okay, now, I'm gonna loosen this here. There's a little channel. But because I don't have that flywheel on there,
is that one of the broken pieces?
This is one of the broken pieces. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tighten it up, and you're gonna see these little spurs go in there, because that's where the catch is. Okay? Gotcha. Now the other thing that's nice about this, and by the way, there may be a different way of turning this. This is just how I've gotten used to it. Sure. And it works for me whenever I've turned a handle. This, and I'll just do this really quick so you can see it. This is where the pin's gonna be. Okay, and that handle will probably come out like this, but I'm not gonna make it that long. I'll bring it in like this. This will go away, but this gives me the reference that that's gonna stay intact, but I'll probably have it shorter here.
Okay.
Okay, it helps me in roughing it out. So let's turn this, and I'll show you how to do this. We're going to turn it to round. Then we'll figure out what's gonna be fit good in your hand. When this comes off, it'll be ready.
Wow.
Okay, for the epoxy of the pins. Now, this, we're gonna be using these tools. These are carbide tip, these easy wood tools. Okay, the one thing you'd have to do when you set up your lathe, your tool rest and your carbide should be at the center, okay? It shouldn't be tilted because you're just gonna push this in like this.
Okay.
So what I did is because I wanted to make sure that will always be at center. I measured it all out. This is a shim stock, so whenever I put this tool rest in here, I know I'm dead center. I don't have to think about it. I'm gonna take my tool rest and I'm gonna bring it in pretty close. I'm gonna rotate it because we're gonna knock these ears off until it turns around.
Okay.
Okay, now, once again, let me practice with you. Watch. With this, and I just want you to see this, the only thing you're going to do, okay, and I hold it here, I put a thumb here. See my hand back here?
Yep.
I put my thumb here, and you're just gonna take it ever so slightly.
Okay.
Now I just taught Jason how to turn, and he was like amazed at how easy it is. You just always gotta be cautious, because this thing, as I turn it on, is spinning like a son of a gun. Okay? Okay, and I can turn it down, go a little bit slower, but I bring it up to about this speed. Now I'm gonna bring it in here, now watch. The only thing I'm doing, my thumb's on top. And I'm just pushing it in ever so slightly. So I'm gonna stop it so you can see what I'm actually doing. See how I'm knocking that off?
Wow.
See how I'm just knocking those corners off?
That's cool.
And what's fun about it is you just take your time doing it. Because I can take that just like this and keep pushing it in, making sure you don't dip it or go like this. You're just pushing in parallel, like this, at a 90. And you can hear it. Now watch, or listen. See how that's shaving off now?
Wow.
How quick round was that? Or almost round. See, look, wait, come in here, Chris, so you can see it. See, there's a little flat spot right there. So we'll just take it down so it's round.
All right.
So here's what's next. This is the handle that I turned out of the black palm, and this here was a little too big in diameter. It doesn't matter. It's a tool that I like. But we're gonna turn this down a little shorter for you, okay? Just so it seats a little bit better, okay? It's stuck proud of the frame. You'll see it when I put it together. But this is really a neat way for layout. Okay, because I'll take it like this, I'll bring it right here, and you'll see that's how long it's gonna be. Okay? And then we can, it doesn't have to be this ergonomic, it could be a straight taper. Okay, so that's how you measure for your length.
Okay.
Because this is gonna remain intact, so we gotta turn it down.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna do is, these are what I call my roughening calipers. I took a measurement here, okay, right on. Then what we'll do is we'll turn it a little bit further. I don't wanna, you can't add wood, but we can take it away. So there's my first one, and I'm gonna put it right here. I got magnets on my lathe for that. And I look at the thickest part right here, and I go, that's about perfect. Okay, so I'll leave that right here as well.
Okay.
And the next thing I do is I'm gonna do a little bit more layout. Okay, I'm gonna take it like this. All right. And sometimes I just let things evolve because I know I'm going to take that down to a really nice taper, and that this part here is going to come in like this, and I'm going to bring it down, and this is where we're going to pat it in the very end.
Oh, okay.
Okay, you'll understand all of this after, but we got to drill it first. Okay, so I'm going to rough it down.
Okay.
Okay, and I'll have this in my hand as well. I'll have it right here. Okay, now, oh, sorry. Go ahead and hold that for me. The other thing I'm going to do is, because this is learned, but I take my tool rest and I tilt it so I know where my taper is going to be.
Oh, okay.
So I look at my gauge lines and I'll just start right here, and I'm just bringing it in like this. And then I can work my taper from there. See that? See how it's coming in. Your thumb will probably rest there as you're sawing, or holding it from one side or the other. I'm just going to put that there. I'm just going to check that. That's about where I want it. We can always refine it. We'll take a measurement. Okay, so this part right here, this is where that's where I'm gonna end it. So I want to give myself some room to round it in.
Okay.
You'll see where we'll refine it with a couple other tools.
Okay.
Okay, so this is where we got to be careful, because we're going to start sanding this in a minute. All right, I need to leave enough here. Okay, so this doesn't break off, and it's a fine line, because there's going to be some hand sanding for us on, because I don't have that chuck to chuck it into. Because we got to take this off, put a drill chuck, and drill into the center with that 1/4" brad point bit, so we can set our pins. So sometimes for me, on a tool handle, there can be a little hand sanding, because we still have to drill, and I still need enough support in there. And I don't want this to break away. Okay, so what we want to do now is we get a great form on it. But we'll take our time with this as well, and I'll have you do quite a bit of this. We need to look. You see the lines there? Mm-hmm. We need to remove those, and we're going to start. I like to start with like 120, and you got to be careful with this. Okay, is you got to make sure that you're not. Always remember that's rotating toward you. So here's your 180. Okay. See how I just cut that up? I'm just going to bring it back in. I'm trying to avoid lines. So sometimes I'll go back and forth, but I want to make sure I get it right in there. I'm not altering that form. I'll even come in here and knock that edge off. Okay, and I mean, you can do hand sanding afterwards, but why waste all that time when this is spinning? So let's look at it, and you're going to start to see it appear.
Wow.
Okay, so I'm going to take some of these lines out. So we went 120.
Yep.
180.
Yep.
240.
Yep.
Now I'm going to do 320.
Oh wow.
Okay, and then what we'll do is on the next handle, I'll step you through the whole process, but you'll be doing it.
Cool.
Okay, now the thing is this is just a tool handle. I'm not concerned if there's extra lines in there. If it was something for the house, like a bowl, I would concentrate a lot more on sanding. But start to feel that. You'll see it's really...
That's lovely, baby.
Yeah, it is nice. And I'm just going to bring that over. let's look at it as it stops. So there you go. Okay.
All right.
So this is why I turned this tenon here at the top. It's still holding. We moved the tailstock away. I knocked out the live center. I replaced it with this chuck. It's a keyless chuck, and I put in this brad point that we use to drill out the frame.
Okay.
Okay, so as I bring it in, I want you to see this. You got to be very gentle with it. Okay, and I'm going to lock in the tailstock. Okay, now there's a groove right here. Okay, I'm not going to tighten this because I'm going to drill that out as I turn it on, as I turn down the speed as well.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Okay. Now, as I take the ratchet and I turn this on, I'm just going to get it started a little bit. Make sure
It's going in the right direction.
it's going in the right direction. I'm going to lock it in, and this is how I'm going to drill this. Okay, Derek, I'm going to have you come over.
Okay.
I'm going to use my hand as a steady here.
Okay.
I'm going to have you turn it on.
How do I do that?
Right here.
Oh, right here.
Yeah. Okay,
One,
go
2,
ahead.
3.
Yep. And that will assure me, okay, go ahead and turn it off. Now I just did a couple of ratchets, and you can see how that's dead on center, right?
Yep.
Now I'm gonna take a quick measurement. Where's that pin? Right. I gotta go in about 3/4. So it matters. And I'm just gonna eyeball this just right here. So I'm in there ever so slightly, right? And I need to make sure that I can do all that. So that's about 3/4 of an inch. I'm just gonna take it like this, and I'm gonna mark my drill bit like this. And when I reach that, I know I have enough depth.
Cool.
Okay? So I'm just gonna take it like this. Go ahead and turn it on again. Perfect. And I'll just take my time boring that. Exactly where I want it. So go ahead and stop that for me.
Wow.
So I'm just going to do a quick test fit. Let's see. Yep, that'll go all the way in.
Beautiful.
Cool. Okay, so that little tenon right there.
Yep.
I mean, there's chucks you can get where you can go in. This will chuck up. So this is free spinning, there's no tailstock, and you can cut that off and turn it and maybe even recess it. But we're not gonna get in there today. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take it like this, and we're just gonna saw it off. Okay, and guess what? We'll take that to a piece of sandpaper, or you'll take this to a piece of sandpaper, and you'll just finish it off on the grits like that and sand it all out.
Perfect.
Okay? So there's the first tool handle. Let's get started on the second one.
Let's do it. All right, Sedge, how's that feel?
Well, man, you tell me. It's yours.
Feels pretty good to me.
It feels pretty good?
Yeah.
That's where you're going to be pulling the saw.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's show off a little.
All right.
I'll do one and you do one.
Sounds good.
Okay, so look at this little point, this diamond point. See it? Okay, we're going to make a couple craftsman's lines for you in there.
All right.
Give it a little touch. We'll do it right here on the handle and very lightly. Got it? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that and give it a little bit of a round over. Okay, so you put one in. Let's just feel that. Okay, perfect.
Should I go north or south?
I would go this way. Feel that. So, as you can see, it's really quite easy, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just learning the proper steps, the right terminology, making sure the right chucks are set up just right, and it's always working off a center.
Always on
And always safety first. These are protective glasses. So as we always say,
be positive.
and stay sharp.